Hi, my name is Alex Kittoe, and I'm a photographer and collage artist from Kansas City, Missouri, in the United States. My biggest goal in life is to see as much of the world as possible while capturing it through my own unique lens. I really appreciate all of you being here, and I hope that you enjoy the exhibition. When I go out in the world, and I'm taking photos, it's really when I feel the most at peace. It really forces me to slow down, be present, pay attention to my surroundings. And in turn, everything else going on in my life, everything else going on in the world just kind of gets muted. It's like being able to turn the volume down. I stop thinking about all this external noise and what I have to do in a few weeks and what my 5-year plan looks like. I don't think about any of that stuff. I get to just be physically and mentally present in a place and just take it all in, take in the beauty, listen to a flowing stream, listen to the leaves rustling in the wind, feel the sunlight on my face, just experience it. And that makes me feel really at peace. And in turn, I really kind of push the boundaries of surreal and real by using very warm tones, very vibrant colors. I really teeter on that boundary of, can this be a real place? Is this real life? And through all of those things, I really hope that those who view my work feel that same level of peace and comfort and are just reminded how beautiful the world that we live in is. Because everybody can get so bogged down by day-to-day life and the stressors that we face every day and the noise and whatever it is. It's like we're so small and there's so much beauty on this earth, and I like to try to remind people of that. And if those who view my work can feel even an ounce of peacefulness and have that little sigh of relief when they're looking at my photography, that makes me so happy and lets me know that I'm accomplishing ultimately what I'm setting out to do. I bought my first camera in 2017, right before I was going to study abroad in a little coastal town in Spain called Alicante. I thought at the time it would be fun to just have a camera to capture memories of hanging out with friends, travel, to just have a different device to disconnect me from my phone and, allow me to capture all these memories so when I got home I could look back through them. And I think at first the camera kind of became a good excuse to just get out of the house and go do something. And it made walking around by myself more interesting because I had things to focus on, I had something to do, I had something to occupy my time. And in Spain, I just quickly fell in love with this idea of freezing literal moments in time, freezing memories, pieces of history, and just finding, new perspectives to look at the world through the camera. And it was also just a great way for me to kind of go really explore this new place and see everything that I wanted to see and really absorb everything around me because it made me just really pay attention to the details. From there, I started consuming a lot more photography, shooting daily. I started taking any photo jobs I could in Denver. I was mostly shooting concert work, working with magazines, shooting musician portraits, just doing anything and everything I could in my free time with a camera to try to get better and understand lighting and kind of what it maybe would take to make this into a career, which was still a very, very far away pipe dream. I've always had this voice in the back of my head that just is telling me to do something different. I've always felt like I should just do something a little bit different from the traditional path that I see everybody else doing. And I couldn't quite pinpoint it. And I thought, maybe I was a little bit crazy. And I get out of college and I start working in the advertising industry. And then this voice just kept coming back. And throughout the whole time, I was still really focused on photography, still trying to get better, still trying to learn my editing, still trying to fix my composition, still going out and shooting to try to get better. And as the years went by, I just grew pretty unhappy in the career that I had. I just didn't like what I was doing. It just didn't feel meaningful to me. It didn't feel fulfilling. It just didn't feel like I had the purpose in life that I wanted to have. And in about 2022, after, consistently getting better and just growing and sharing my work a lot, I really started to come into my own style and just find this fluidity in my work that made everything feel cohesive regardless of what I was shooting. And felt like I was really starting to try to figure it out after 5 years. And in 2022, I got into Web3 and cryptocurrency, and there were a lot of art collectors in that space, and they really believed in me, and they started purchasing my work, and they started giving me a lot of words of encouragement, and I got on some phone calls with them. And then from there, I started selling physical art. People started buying prints, and I felt like this is my chance. This is my way out, right? This is my opportunity to pivot and try something completely different that is really scary and really daunting. And I just kept thinking, I can absolutely live with trying this and failing, but I cannot live with never trying. I don't want to look back in 30 years and think, what if? So I took the leap of faith. I quit my job, cold turkey, gave my 2-week notice, and went out on my own. was very eye-opening leaving an advertising career that I didn't have that much passion into and going into photography full-time. Because once I was able to focus my entire days on something that I really cared about, I've just worked even harder. I have no problem working a 16-hour day. If I'm working on something that I care about, something that I'm passionate about, something that I really want to achieve. And yeah, I think when you are able to focus on things that are important to you and fulfilling every single day, it just pushes you to want to work harder. I have to actually go find opportunities. I have to create opportunities for myself and then see them through. I just keep reminding myself, no matter how busy and bogged down I am, like I get to do what I want to every single day. I get to do things that I care about and that I'm passionate about every single day when I wake up. And I think that's incredible. It's a huge goal of mine to see as much of the world as possible and put myself in new places and make, new memories and experiences. I don't really plan a lot when I travel. I kind of just book a ticket, book some place to stay, and then I just show up and I aimlessly wander around. I capture whatever is interesting to me and whatever catches my eye in the moment. And I find these little corners of areas that aren't glamorous. They're not tourist spots. They're not even spots where locals hang out. It might be a rural farmland or a ranch in the middle of nowhere, and I find it just by taking a random right turn because it looks like an interesting dirt road, and then I end up in these crazy places. I think the best way to describe it is when I'm traveling, I'll be at my hotel, I'll pick a place I want to go, and I'll get in my car and I'll drive there. It's a bit of a cliche, the journey is more important than the destination, but I find myself finding the most interesting compositions on the way there, from like random little towns I drive through, random back roads I go through. I just look for these interesting little moments while I'm actually trying to get to my destination, and then I end up pulling over on the side of the road a ton. And then I'll make it to my destination and then I'll get really cool photos there too. But then I can look back on this day and like really piece together the adventure because I've captured all these little moments from it and all these little memories. And I can kind of tell the story of what a day in my life looks like, from waking up at sunrise all the way to driving 2 hours away to go on this hike and everything that I saw in between that moment. With my work, I want to really invoke a sense of peacefulness, a sense of wanderlust, and a bit of a sense of curiosity. I love that sense of adventure, that sense of I don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring. I'm in a new place. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm so excited to see it. And so I really want to kind of inspire that sense of wanderlust in my work, meaning like I want people to see a series of my work from a week of traveling and just like feel inspired to get up and go on their own adventure and go see the world. I also really hope that my journey inspires people to take risks and do what they want to do in life, because after I felt stuck for so long and I finally took this leap of faith to kind of see where photography could lead me, I think the most valuable lesson I've learned is like, if you just give it your all and you work really hard, it will work out one way or another. You might not become rich and famous, but like you can make it work. You can make a living doing what you love. There's so many ways in this world to make a living, and there's so many different things you can do on a day-to-day basis that I don't think anybody should feel stuck. I think you should go out and chase that dream. Like start, just give it a shot. Worst case is you fail and then you pivot, right? And so by telling my story, I really hope that people feel inspired to chase that dream that they've been thinking about, do that thing that they've always wanted to do, and push themselves out of their own comfort zone, do new things, take risk, and see what happens. I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here. I'm incredibly grateful for your support, and it means the world to me as an independent artist. I'm so thankful to have this opportunity in Seoul, and there's nowhere else that I'd rather have it. I appreciate you all being here and experiencing this with me, and I really hope that you enjoy the exhibition.